Hey people, Mike Martins here with the Mike Martins channel. What do I got for you guys? Well, a prediction that was made pretty much like 10 years ago, following into 8 years ago, into 5 years ago. Housing is crashing across the Commonwealth, and New Zealand is finally crashing. New Zealand is finally getting its ducks in order. They banned foreign investing, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. We covered here on the channel. We went in depth with it, connecting the dots across the Commonwealth, and I kept saying wages are not keeping up, or wages are not in line, or incomes are not in line with the price of housing. And it's old news. This is something we've been talking about for over a decade on here. Now, here's the problem. So let's get into what's happening. And of all places, Better Dwelling is reporting it. New Zealand real estate prices dropped for the most since 2010, forecast to fall further. So it's going to keep going. There's Auckland right there. So let's go over our channel time machine, because here on the channel, we've been talking about New Zealand a lot. So let's look at what we've been talking about. New Zealand poverty crisis triggered by Chinese investors parking money, young families leaving 2 years ago. That's probably longer than 2 years, but it says that. The ban on foreign investors is working, so they banned foreign investors. But here in Canada, they say, oh, it's less than 1% of price manipulation. It's only less than 1%. But the ban on foreign investors is working. New Zealand house prices flat. So someone emailed me last week. It's a trap. New Zealand housing. Do not buy nothing. Everything is fake in the real estate markets. So this is a very important video that I made that people still email me on it from 3 years ago telling people not to buy. So basically all their gains, if they did buy their gains would have been gone today. So if they bought 3 years ago, they would have lost all their gains. Food inflation set to take off. Unbelievable price of local caught fish in New Zealand. So it's caught locally 5 months ago. What else do we have? New Zealand housing market severely unaffordable 2 years ago. So they were trying to fix the housing market. Look at this. New Zealand housing severely unaffordable, disappearing Kiwi middle class 5 years ago. Canada versus New Zealand housing destruction, because the same countries have the same model to bring in foreign investors to buy out the middle class. New Zealand housing prices set to double madness. So that's when, again, during the sickness that was going around, the COVID was going around, and people were getting their money offshore as fast as possible. So where is that one? There was one here. Right here. New Zealand. Foreign buyers dries up. Markets set for a nosedive. Correction by 2022, 3 years ago. Wow. So caller gives massive warning of things to come in New Zealand. Mike in the night there 9 months ago. So there it is right there. We've been talking about this for right here. New Zealand to ban foreign home ownership gains attention in BC 4 years ago. So this is something we've been trying to put our finger on the pulse for many years. Trying to keep affordability within the middle class. And I've been fighting for middle class Canadians and fighting that the middle class Canadians have some sort of say in this fight. You know, I've been trying my best for so many years. So now, as it crumbles across the Commonwealth, we will start to see other things start happening, which we're going to cover on Mike in the Night. We can't talk about it here. So there it is, New Zealand. So there it is. Let's see what they say here. This is from Better Dwelling. This is from yesterday's date. Yeah, because today's the 1st, right? Yeah. New Zealand's residential real estate market is becoming softer by the day. CoreLogic New Zealand data shows home prices fell across the country in May, a combination of higher rates and anti-speculation measures. Again, foreign investors banned. Are rapidly cooling demand. Prices are now falling at the fastest since 2010, and the central bank expects them to fall a lot further. New Zealand real estate prices made the biggest 3-month drop since 2010. New Zealand real estate prices continue to slide over the residential sector. Prices fell an estimated 0.8% in May, following a similar decline in April. The firm estimates that over the past 3 months, prices have dropped 0.9%, making the biggest 3-month drop since 2010. So there's the price index change, 3 months. So there's Wellington there. There's main urban, there's Auckland, and then there's New Zealand as a benchmark whole. And there it is right there. So there's Wellington right there. Wow. So that's a big drop. Auckland home prices are falling 2 times the national rate. Auckland, the country's most expensive major market, has seen a price drop much larger than national moves. Prices dropped 1.5% in May, have slid 1.8% lower compared to 3 months ago. The fall has barely rolled back gains over the past couple of years, but they are falling at a double-digit national rate. So this is it. It's kicking off. A lot of people are going to comment and say, "Oh, what are you talking about, Mike? This is terrible. This is terrible reporting. This is not. No, this is how it starts to crater. It's happening in Toronto. We covered it the other day in Toronto." So there's the video right there. We covered it in Toronto. Toronto housing market in danger of crashing big time. And then we covered it 3 weeks before that it's starting to crater. So if you go back far enough, you'll see it on the channel here. So what does this mean? It means a lot. Because New Zealand population, what, 5 million? They were under foreign invasion of attack of its middle class. And we've been, like, again, here, we've been connecting the dots across the Commonwealth for over a decade now. And now we're starting to see the effects happen. Now, there's one way Canada could save its arse in this housing market, and I'm going to show you guys. It's a video. I made a video about it a year and a half ago. But there's one way, and Canada's looking at this again as a potential. So here goes. Because Canada's housing market is so heavily dependent on foreign investing, this is an older article. We covered it on the channel back in 2021. 69 million people in China and Hong Kong look to start for a new start in Canada. So it's a survey, but it's basically getting around. And this is one way that Canada wants to prop its failing economy, bringing in foreign money. Most of it's laundered, though. Most of it can't be declared, and most of it is being brought in through people, and using the people is what they're doing, and that's what Canada's been doing for many years now. And that's another way that Canada can keep this going, by replacing the middle class here in Canada that actually built the infrastructure, right? New Zealand did it for a while, and I know in New Zealand they had Kiwi Build. They were supposed to build so many homes for middle-class New Zealanders, and that failed. Phil Tyford was the housing administrator in New Zealand at the time, and that failed miserably. So the only way to stop it is to stop the dirty money, right? The dirty money gets stopped, the illegal suites, the illegal rentals stop, everything just falls dead, and everything could reset. And they could raise interest rates, let the bad debt fall off, which is going to be, again, the middle class that's going to suffer when the bad debt falls off. A lot of the money launderers don't care. They got their money offshore. So this is the problem we're facing here. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think now Australia is going to start reheating its housing market now, because its new governance is going to build its housing market. The new government that got in 2 weeks ago looks like they're going to build their economy off of foreign investing again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Look forward to reading what you guys have to say. Thanks for the emails. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.